Hello and welcome to episode 87 of the DaebakCast. This is a weekly podcast where the three of us come together each week to talk about K-pop and whatever's current in the industry. This week we got 3 album reviews and then another topic. So we're doing the album reviews first, right?
Yep.
Okay. So this week we got Sunmi, NCT Dream, and GWSN, which is a debut. Not sure if that's the correct order, but I'm sure Andrew will correct me later. But anyways, as always, I'm joined by Nate.
This one's cheating a little bit, but we may seem trivial and insignificant, but each one of us possesses a unique.
Excuse you, I was going to mention that in the actual
Thank you, GWSN.
Is that the thing in the MV?
Yeah, it's the thing at the words at the beginning.
Yeah, that's just like there's definitely a
they
word
didn't even
missing.
try.
Yeah, there's a word missing from that phrase or something. I'm not sure.
I assume like unique trait or something, but
yeah, they definitely. It's like you ever. It's like the concept of like English or like improper statements like this is really funny because like if we ever in like 150 like million years or whatever, people are like, oh, we're just trying to. They discover like this ancient like text and they're trying to decipher what it means. They're just gonna be so confused.
Yeah, they're gonna be like trying to look at this like anthropologically, and they won't even realize that like, wait,
it's horrible.
It's not even made by a native speaker.
It's like you know those shirts.
They'd be like, how does this get here?
You know those shirts in like Japan and like China and like parts of Asia where it's just like English like phrases that have absolutely no meaning on them.
Oh yeah, one of my favorites is there's this picture of this lady at McDonald's and she's wearing a t-shirt that says #me. But it could be read as pound me.
Yeah, they wouldn't be any the wiser.
Oh goodness. Anyways, as always as well, I'm joined by Andrew, who usually has 3 things.
Number 1, happy Rosh Hashanah to our Jewish listeners out there. Yo, the concept of like Rosh Hashanah and like the Jewish calendar is crazy because they're about to like hit the year 5,779. Well, we're stuck here in 2018. We have a lot of catching up to do, definitely. And I get 2 days off from work for it, so I'm happy. Yeah, September is always just like a bunch of Jewish holidays, so you get a lot off because New York City just has a huge Jewish population. Number 2, I've kind of like fallen off the face of the earth because I'm pretty sure I played Spider-Man for like 16 hours straight last night. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy it definitely. I love all the I like working in New York. I can definitely see all of the sort of references to places. My building doesn't exist in the game though, unfortunately. My only complaint because I had to buy like a PS4 Pro for this game. This is literally the ugliest controller on the face of the goddamn planet. Like, who thought it was a good idea to have a red controller with white buttons? Like,
Sony.
Like red and black makes way more sense, just like aesthetically. I don't know. It's just
would you rather it be red and blue?
Spider-Man has the white spider in the game.
But still, like white buttons are like no. Somebody posted a picture of it, and it's already starting to like get Cheeto effect, or like it basically just like the white gets ruined, and they weren't even eating Cheetos for whatever reason. So I don't know. It's like some part of the paint's coming off. So yeah, I bought that. I bought like another controller just to avoid using that entirely.
500 million edition.
Yeah, the 500 million edition, but apparently that's not more common. And number 3, our good friend Kanye West is up to some weird shit again.
Our good friend.
I'm repping the Wyoming hoodie, and even though he's kind of feuding with Drake, I'm wearing the OVO hat. So apparently somehow I think after like he had like a Jimmy Kimmel appearance where he referenced Pornhub somehow, and somehow that led to him being like a creative director of like their award show, and he made a Pornhub like collection where it's literally just like pictures of like the artist and everything. It's like a Yeezy branded like merchandise. I don't know. I'm so confused, and like I looked at like the collection, and I mean like some of the like they sort of render like the girls in like sort of like a classic like Renaissance or just like a postmodern or like a really cool interpretation of it. It's like very artistic looking, but the wording on it is so like you wouldn't be caught dead wearing like it has like a picture of a naked girl and it says like nicest ass or something like in bold letters on it. I don't know why. It's just so weird. And also he did a collab with Lil Pump where he basically dressed up as Roblox and and the weirdest thing of all, very music related, he just randomly tweeted yesterday, Throne 2 coming soon, which is in reference to Watch the Throne, which is a compilation or an album that he did in collaboration with Jay-Z. But the thing is, though, him and Jay-Z hate each other right now. So like literally everyone's like trying to like decipher what like Kanye West tweets. Like I'm pretty sure you can get it. Speaking of like freaking like anthropology, they could probably get a degree in deciphering Kanye West's Twitter feed. So. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I love Watch the Throne 1, so if we get another, like, Kanye West and Jay-Z collaboration, I mean, I'd be through the roof, but I highly doubt it. They hate each other, right? Unfortunately.
Was that 3?
Yeah, that was 3.
Okay, anyways. I'm Jacob. Tweet at Sunmi. You want a Yes I Am collab with Yucko. It's a cover of her song. Be on it. I still haven't seen anyone do it. So... do it. Anyways,
forget that collab.
Bueno. Let's go.
Forget that collab actually, because I'd prefer her to collab with just with Yubin, because we'll get to it later. But
anyways, let's get into the reviews. What are we doing first? Are we doing Sunmi first? I hope we are.
No, we can do.
Wait, really?
We'll do NCT Sunmi, then GWSN.
I thought it was Jacob's order, but it doesn't matter. But I'm surprised.
Can't do order of importance.
First.
No, we'll do order.
It's too late now because you already made the slideshow.
Yeah. Nate, so we'll do the same thing. So Nate, you'll do this. Jacob, you'll do your Bay, and then I'll do GWSN. Got it?
Fine.
Why are you reluctant to do NCT first?
No, I don't like NCT Dream. I'm joking. I just want to rant about Puzzle Moon already.
Okay.
But no. Okay. First review is NCT Dream's We Go Up. And it starts out with the title track We Go Up, which we talked about last week. But we'll just kind of reiterate and elaborate on what we said. And if any new thoughts came up. Yeah, for me, I like the mixture of the hip hop style, like from 127 and Go, but then like making it more fun, light, and having a more traditional like Dream chorus. Like lets them keep their sound and still fit with the rest of NCT. The vocals on the bridge are really, really good. And the vocals overall are good. The chorus is a little repetitive, but I'm fine with it. I'm fine with repetitive choruses if they're good, and I think this one's okay. Choreo is really fun too, fits the song, and the music video was pretty standard, but I did like all the symbolism with Mark, since it's his last song. Even if it's sad, I thought it worked well.
Yeah, I'd say that the only sort of major complaint I'd have would be like the lack, again, I mentioned it before, it's just like I like lyricism in my choruses, and just repeating "we go up" just like 100 times gets kind of repetitive. But I mean, it's not too obnoxious to the point that I don't like the song. I definitely do like the song because, again, it strikes that perfect balance between like the edginess of the other like 127 and You, or like the style that they were trying to go for with Go off of NCT 2018 Empathy, and like the youthful style or the youthful vibrance that they sort of usually bring to Dream songs. So again, it's a good middle ground, and I'd like to for the next sort of release that they have, whether it be like another like solo or if they do another compilation album in 2019, I definitely like to see them sort of make this progression that they have, because they've definitely come a long way from like chewing gum, where it's just like straight up like so like innocent and cutesy, and it's like whereas you could definitely see the growth that they've made concept wise in this song.
Yeah, so immediately I was really into this song, and I liked how it's kind of a like the verses before the chorus, it sounds very like super early 90s hip hop, like right in the beginning sort of stuff. Like it could come off as kind of corny like today, but it's a boy band, so I guess people don't aren't really expecting that anyway.
Yeah.
So I think it's fun personally. I like that style. Like really the only thing that kills the song for me is the chorus. Like Andrew was saying, like I was getting super into it, and then all of a sudden the chorus, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, damn.
It definitely kills the momentum a bit.
Yeah, I think it kind of like brings it to a halt. I think they had, the build up and potential for something that's super catchy and infectious, but they kind of just went the safe route and repeated phrase chorus. But either way, even though I didn't like the chorus, I really enjoyed the rest of the song anyways. So
have you sort of noticed that as like K-pop has like proliferated as a world like recognized sort of music genre, they've sort of gone away from, or they've sort of trended more towards using more just straight up English words, or English, like entirely English, like choruses. Just I guess so like it makes like the most identifiable part of the song more catchy for people like that might, like myself, that might not be fluent in Korean to be able to like enjoy the song.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the big things in K-pop, and honestly, it's always been.
I was
like,
say
ever
it's been
since
there
I could
before
remember.
K-pop was a global. I mean, I'm Your Girl, like SES is they used that was the chorus.
Yeah, no, I think that reason is actually why one of the reasons why K-pop has been able to proliferate around the world is because people who don't speak Korean, they might know a little bit of English, so it kind of helps them.
Yeah.
Connect with the music on a, I guess, lyrical level, whereas like I guess the three of us don't usually like go into that as much. We're usually more in the music. However, for like the average music listener who is more bound to get like caught up on, oh, this is in a different language, the English kind of helps ease them into it.
Yeah. It definitely helps as a bridge to sort of like, okay, ease them into like, okay, this is, it might like some of this might not be familiar, but I still hear like the same numbers or like the same like words or phrases or whatever. So
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting to see just like how proliferated English is in all other countries' pop music. Just so it helps serve as a bridge for people to sort of like be more like interested and I guess accepting of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Next we have 123, which is a cover of the Sungri song.
Imagine if they covered that song. That'd be amazing.
It would be pretty good actually. So this is like more traditional R&B style like guy group song. It actually like Jacob said the last song like channeled the like 90s hip hop. This is like really 90s channeling 90s and early 2000s like guy groups. Like if this was in English, I could have been like convinced this was an NSYNC or Backstreet Boys song. Like it has the like that simple beat and like super like the same style of like vocal harmonizing and like vocals that they had back then. So I actually thought this was a pretty cool song because of that. It was very throwback feeling, and I think that fits them really well, because that type of pop music is like more innocent compared to like more recent stuff, so it fits with the Dream.
Most of my praise for this song has to go to the Stereotypes who produced it. Again, they're very good at like picking like time periods and sort of like specific sounds that they want to ground their music in, and they're able to nail it like for all of their artists. And I'd say they do a pretty good job of sort of tailoring styles and instrumentals for artists, and that's no exception with Dream, because I feel like this song is perfectly fit for them. So because I mean, like, even though they produced for like Bruno Mars and Red Velvet and like all these like like all these other people like and NCT Dream, like they do again that I'd say that's their specialty. Their specialty is sort of like that throwback type of sound, and being able to adapt that to whether it's a male vocal or a female vocal. So again, there's just a really like high level of like attention to detail that they put into their music that you can really appreciate. Like pretty much no matter who they produce for, because I honestly haven't heard anything of theirs, whether it be within K-pop or outside of K-pop, that I don't enjoy, honestly. Because I mean, like, Finesse is just an incredible song too, and again that does a very good job of rooting itself in genre, in much in the same way that this again roots itself in like those early 2000s like boy band or like Western pop group type of sounds.
Yeah, I think, again, like the last song, early to mid 90s, I think that's definitely the stereotypes is, kind of their strength, because that was kind of when they grew up, I guess, when they were, kids or teenagers or whatever.
Yeah.
And it definitely shows in the song. I definitely agree with Nate that it sounds like the mid 90s like boy bands and stuff like that. And yeah, it's interesting because this weekend I actually watched the documentary series, The Defiance Ones, which is about Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre and like their whole history.
Yeah.
So you kind of in that documentary got to see like a lot of history in both rock and roll and hip hop until it leads up to them becoming business partners or whatever. Anyways, with that my favorite part of it was like seeing the like musical history primarily in like the 80s and 90s, so like hearing this kind of music like in a modern context, I find it really interesting, especially seeing where a lot of it like originated, I guess.
Yeah.
From, like the original people who were first coming up with this stuff. I'm glad that in the I guess here in the late 2010s, like throwback concepts are in, because I really like, seeing these things being reinvented in a modern context.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a lot of the situations where people that like our age or my age specifically they're finally getting to the point where like, okay, they're starting their careers and they're basically just trying to chase the music and the sounds that they grew up listening to. It's why like a lot of 80s like stuff is growing, like coming back in popularity, is why like 90s stuff is, because again, like this is stuff that we like grew up with as kids, and we're sort of just trying to almost recreate that level of nostalgia, or just try to reinterpret that that vibe that kind of music had. So yeah, it's very interesting to see again, like a lot of art and a lot of music in particular is very cyclical, because everyone's pulling from inspirations that sort of like define a specific sound in a time period, and like they sort of try to bring that in a modern context.
Yeah. As someone who owned Backstreet Boys' Millennium album, I enjoyed it.
I have my NSYNC and Backstreet Boys albums somewhere in like I haven't finished unpacking, but they're somewhere in there, I think. So
yeah.
Yeah, those are too. I have my Aaron Carter CDs too, so all of that shit's still way too precious to me to throw out.
Next is Beautiful Time. So this is a pop ballad. Starts out with a guitar focus. I like the buildup of like synths and the synth line during the chorus. I thought it complemented the guitar and vocals like really well. And the vocals in the song were insane, like especially the higher register stuff and the high notes. Those obviously stood out. And I thought the rap was good too. I like the sentimental style of rap. It fits this type of song.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of nailed down what I enjoyed about it. I mean, it's a ballad, or it's a sort of slower track, so there's not much else to sort of like divulge in it. But yeah, I do like the guitar driven aspect of it is a really like nice factor to the song. And I think just in general, I mean, I'd say just in general, like I don't think there's any NCT group that really lacks in terms of rap lines, even with Dream. I mean, I know Dream like kind of heavily relies on Mark a lot, but he's definitely someone that sort of like brings us different, or he brings like that strength to any group that he works with ultimately. And I mean, like I guess that's sort of like the thing I really appreciate about him, is just he's very consistent no matter which NCT subunit he's working with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the song quite a bit. Even though it is a ballad, I like that it does go lean towards, again, like I guess is the prevailing concept with this album is sort of like the 90s R&B hip hop sort of stuff. I like that it does lean into the more of the R&B stuff, so it's not a straight out just like generic ballad. So I think that gave it a lot of I guess spice to it.
Spice Girls?
The answer is
90s pop music. Next is Drippin. So this is more hip hop focus. This is very much like a 127 style song.
Yeah, I thought it was at one point. I was just like, wait a second, is this the same group?
yeah, exactly. It's a little weird. It doesn't really fit with the rest. But I really like the drop in the synths for the chorus. They use that like super low, grindy sounding, like back and forth synth during the chorus. And there's also like there's an instrumental focus where there isn't even singing or rapping at all during parts of the chorus. So I enjoyed that. And I also thought the vocals like mixed into the song really well, even though they're not the focus. It's focused very much on the rapping, the instrumentals. But I thought the vocals were good too. And do not look up the lyrics because they're utter trash. And this was in English, it would be just as bad as Cream.
Wait, what are the lyrics?
Mashup of Drippin.
Look them up. I'm not even gonna say them.
Okay, I'm gonna look up the lyrics right now.
It talks about like filling someone up, and it's like it's pretty bad, especially considering their age. The fact that
everything. Hold on. Quote. Everything is swallowed. I fill you with my everything. Slowly fills to the top and deeply falls in, dripping, dripping, dripping. Jesus Christ. Who wrote this?
God.
Who's responsible
I don't know,
for
but
this?
Someone commented, the best Twitter post about it I saw was, wow, I didn't know Mark had a sister too.
Because
Taeyong supposedly wrote Whiplash about his sister.
Oh no!
All horrible things to say.
Oh boy!
So I assume Mark wrote it, but I don't know if that was just a joke because he's the one rapping. I don't know if he actually wrote it or whatever. But yeah,
honestly, I bet the lyrics of this like result from literally just taking the English demo and just translating it to Korean.
Probably.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, like it's. Considering they're supposed to be the subunit that's underage, and only Mark's like, yeah, it's just like it just doesn't make any sense. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's super like off brand for them. But
if it was English, it would be Cream level bad.
Yeah, like, maybe, but that being said, I still enjoyed it. Again, it's
I like the song.
Yeah, it's definitely more along the lines of what they were going for with Go. Like this, the instrumental that they have is like the super like industrial type like hip hop feel to it. So yeah, I mean, I know that's sort of like an anomaly compared to like the most of their music, but it's kind of the niche that I see them building out for themselves. So even after Mark leaves, I think they should sort of explore that more. Maybe not necessarily always for a single, or maybe it's just like with We Go Up, sort of trying to blend that in with the more youthful aspect of Dream. But yeah, I love that they're sort of pushing themselves, or they're still, despite being like the little brother or like the younger group, they're still definitely pushing themselves conceptually, which I always appreciate.
Yeah, so Drippin' overall, I thought the song was good, but I found, like, to be honest, in this song, I found the hi-hats to be like way too much. Like, again, it's just the thing that I don't like as much, and
yeah, like
it's just not my thing. Like, so yeah, like I think the song was good. It sounds like I thought the chorus sounded kind of like an EXO song, but
yeah, the way that they layer the vocal harmonies is definitely reminiscent of EXO. So you definitely tell that they're sort of like pulling where the influences they're pulling from are.
Yeah.
And finally we have Dear Dream. Well, I guess technically there's one more song after this. We have Dear Dream.
We're talking about it. We're talking about it.
You'll enjoy my notes.
How about the wrong version of the song?
But so yeah, next is Dear Dream. So this is going back to that like that retro feel. It's a sentimental like old school style hip hop song. It's like I really like how simple the beat and piano are, because it lets you focus on the rapping while still guiding it, if that makes sense. And I thought the transition into singing was really, really good. The vocals, like when they first come in, they actually gave me chills a little bit because of how like dreamy, pun intended, they sounded.
I'm the only one that's allowed to make corny puns.
They like really, I don't know, they really surprised me on how good they were. And yeah, the rapping was fantastic. I love that style of sentimental rap. This was actually my favorite song.
There's just a lot of emotion that sort of comes out of this song, because it's a tribute to Mark, because he's going to be graduating from Dream. I believe I'm not sure if it's at the end of the year or after this album.
Yeah, I'm
necessarily.
not 100% sure how. I know this is his last comeback
Yeah.
with them, but I don't know if he'll do like end of the year stuff with them or what.
Yeah, so if you look into the lyrics, it's just sort of like his goodbye, and it's nice how Mark like bookends like the beginning and the end of the song with his rap. So yeah, it's just a really nice tribute to him in a way, and yeah, just like I don't know, just like I don't really necessarily have an attachment to Dream specifically, but man, it's just gets super emotional at the thought of Mark leaving them because it's like, what are they gonna do? He's just been such a big part of almost every one of the groups, so it's just weird to consider him like leaving.
I don't know.
I mean,
it'll give them other members time to shine.
We'll definitely, and I'm sure after a while though, NCT's probably gonna be like 48 group level insanity at one point because Dream.
Well, I
is just,
think that's the plan.
Yeah, Dream is just gonna get like super it's just gonna be like super fresh all the time, which is in theory is gonna be awesome because like each incarnation probably will be very different. In comparison to the previous ones, so again, it'll always be a fresh concept, no matter like or depending on like which members are in.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the if any of the young Chinese members are younger than new members that are getting added for NCT China. I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of them are on the younger side. I don't remember their ages, but if they would get added.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if they added a lot of them. Well, not a lot of them, but some of them. Anyways, as far as Dear Dream goes, I really liked Mark's rap. Their vocals in the song were really, really good, nice and like sentimental. It made the song stand out from just your typical ballad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I think at this point we can say that this is definitely SM's strength. They never give us generic ballads on their albums.
Yeah, I mean, they have an entire group called SM The Ballad, and I mean, like, and
we need SM The Ballad too, please.
Yeah, yes. and I mean, if you look at it, even NCT is probably the most rap heavy group that SM's ever produced. And even still, like usually it's so hard to find that balance between having good rappers and having good singers as well. But they managed to work well with it because like SM is just known. SM is just known for producing like some of the best vocalists. So
their ballads, like the station song from last year for NCTU, that ballad's insane.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And finally, we have We Go Up, the Chinese version. And my notes are the wrong sounding version of the song that Andrew probably somehow prefers.
Actually, no. In this case, I didn't prefer it because it just didn't flow as well as I expected it would in Chinese. I don't know. Maybe it's just because obviously not all of them have a level of fluency in it, so it's probably just kind of awkward for them to rap or sing in a different language. But I still do appreciate that they're SM still trying to penetrate that market, especially with they're trying to seed the fan base there for whenever NCT China finally debuts. So it's cool to see them sort of put the effort in.
Side note. Oh, go ahead, Andrew. Yeah, or Jacob. Yeah.
Well, what I was gonna say about like China, I think literally all SM has to do is just treat the foreign members well, and then that's all they have to do.
They treat them so bad.
You know, like feed them well, and they'll feed you back. Like
it's like a Tamagotchi. If you don't feed it, you'll have to reset. No, actually, no.
They'll just die. Dying is them suing your ass.
Were you alive when Tamagotchi was around?
Yes, I had them in elementary school. I didn't live under a rock.
Oh my god, that's so weird.
Side note.
Saying, yeah.
Does the new Ujuzonyo album have a Chinese version on it?
Ooh. I don't know. If imagine it does with no Chinese members, that'd be really funny.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if it's there or not. Because if it's not there, they're definitely out.
Yep, we'll see.
If it's there, they might have a chance.
Okay, so we gotta pray it's there, please.
Yeah.
Because unlike this, like Wuju Sonyo, Chinese songs are god tier.
As much as I just ignore them and skip them, I want it to be there. Okay. Overall, how do we rank NCT Dream's We Go Up? For me, I gave it a 6 out of 6 for music. I liked all the songs on the album. Nothing was bad. I would easily listen to this whole album without skipping anything. I gave it a 2 out of 3 for concept. I liked the choreo and the MV's like symbolism and stuff, but it wasn't like didn't blow me away or anything. And I gave him a concept or a bias point, so I gave it 9 out of 10.
For me, I'd probably give it a 5 out of 6 for music, yeah, just because like slight marks. I don't think it's necessarily perfect on the musical front. And if I were to rank We Go Up amongst the sort of NCT Dream singles, it probably would be up there alongside, like, no disrespect to like Chewing Gum, but it'd probably be up there with Go as some of my favorites.
Go. My first and last is so good though.
But I just love I love like the edgy like aspect that they bring to it. So I would like to see I'd like to see a continued progression from them musically. So yeah, I'm
like
not
NCT Nightmare more.
basically. Concept 2 out of 3. Again, I'd say the only thing is I wish they showed a bit more of the choreography in the video. It definitely didn't seem to be a focus as much. And obviously I'm gonna give them a bias point because Mark's there. No, just kidding. I love Dream still. So yeah, it's an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, so for me, I gave it a 5 out of 6 just because I liked pretty much every song except for I wasn't a huge fan of Drippin because, again, it's pretty well known that I'm not a huge fan of gratuitous hi-hats. So, like, it's not huge points down. Like, I could still listen to the song and I wouldn't, like, be like, turn that shit off. But it's not my favorite song.
All right, SoundCloud listeners, please link nothing but, like, gratuitous trap beats in the comments and send them and, like, mark them all.
I won't listen to them.
Yeah, we'll let Jacob listen to all of them, so.
No.
We'll start a new show where he reviews songs with horrible trap beats.
And then I'm just like, this is trash, this is trash.
It's just literally like, no matter the song, it's just like, this is trash.
Anyways. 2 out of 3 for a concept, just because I thought they did it and did a well done job. However, it's nothing like groundbreaking that I hadn't seen before. And bias point because so far, like, NCT's never really like let me down as a whole. Besides Fire Truck, that song sucks.
Yeah, pretty much everything we've sort of been in agreement has been good. So
except Fire Truck.
Fire Truck.
Yeah. Except Fire Truck. Whoop, 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 whoop. It gets a not Fire Truck out of 10. That should be the rating metric.
But yes. Anyways, 8 out of 10. It was very good.
8 out of 10 overall. Doesn't get a shiny because you guys hated it.
The SM group doesn't get a shiny.
It's 80%.
You guys hated it, so
I gave it a B.
Yeah, I gave
it a B. Whoever like decided that, hey, we're gonna do all these rock remixes, give them a raise and keep doing it. Honestly, it's amazing because like that's one of the reasons why I first liked BTS back in the day, like in like what was it, like 2013, 2014 when I first found them. Like it was